Yo, what's going on, guys? Tamriel here, back again with another ESO build video. Today's build video is more focused on Vet Maelstrom Arena for the Stam DK, but this build will work for most all stamina classes. So, I'm calling it the Dark Serpent. I'll say why in a minute. I don't know why I named these things that, but whatever. That's what I'm calling it. I really am not claiming this build. This is a build that I'm sure probably a lot of people run. In fact, my friend Rated R ESO, he runs a build almost identical to this, just with a different monster set. So if you guys want to check him out, I'll put his link down in the description. He's a Twitch streamer as well. So let's get into it. I like staging my stupid owl self behind trees and stuff whenever I start live streams and videos. So let's get into the video. So in the past, my first VMA sort of build video for the Stam DK was just, you know, your standard 5 Vicious Ophidian, 5 Toy-Spawn Star, and Maelstrom weapons. Since I've done that video, I'll give you guys a quick update. I pretty much have everything from Maelstrom now. I think when I did that video, I only had I think I may have had the sharpened axe or something. But since then, I've gotten everything I really needed. I've got a sharpened dagger, sharpened axe. I just got the sharpened battle axe yesterday, so I finally have a sharpened 2H. Or 2 days ago, whenever it was. I'm still hunting for that greatsword. Sharpened greatsword, but I finally have a sharpened 2H now. You know, I've got a defending bow, which I like to use in here, and I've got a sharpened bow. I pretty much got everything that I want for the stamina stuff, and pretty much actually everything that I want for magic as well. I've got really good restos. So just kind of updating you guys on all my loot and all that stuff. So let's get into this. So like I said, last build was 5 Vicious, 5 Toy-Spawn, and Maelstrom weapons. What I wanted to do with this build was I wanted to incorporate some monster sets. Now, what was happening was the gear that I previously had was I was rocking the you know, Vicious Ophidian with the 3 jewelry, the Divine's bracers, and then I had Divine's shoulders. Well, as you guys know, monster sets are head and shoulders. So I had to remove this piece, and I wanted to sort of work around with some different monster sets and see what was going on. So I did drop Maelstrom weapons for this build. So this build is a lot more sort of kind to someone that might be starting out with Maelstrom, or trying to get their first completion. So what we're wearing today is 2 Velodreth. I'll talk about traits in a minute. We got 5 Vicious Ophidian, and then we have 5 Night Mother's Gaze. All right. So this is why I'm calling it the Dark Serpent, because the night is dark. Cringe. So 5 Night Mother's Gaze. So it's I'm just doing like belt, boots, legs, and 2 daggers, and then on the back I have a defending Maelstrom bow. I like the defending bow. You can honestly go defending or sharpen. I like defending on the back bar just for a little bit more mitigation if you're ever in sort of a bad situation in Maelstrom and you're trying to you're on your back bar for whatever reason. So I end up liking the defending, and then obviously your 2 daggers are going to be sharpened. If you're wondering what styles these are, this one over here is the Hollowjack style, and this one is the Assassin's League style. All right, so let's break it down a little bit. So I don't have perfect traits on everything. What you are going to want to do is, ideally you want all divines, and ideally you want 7 medium for this build, for the maximum DPS. I have just a medium infused Velodreth mask. It's not terrible. Infused is fine. And then the only divine shoulder from Velodreth that I have was a heavy divines. And this works out quite nicely. I get a little bit extra, you know, armor from this or whatever, and a little bit of the heavy armor passives, as well as an extra 2% with the Undaunted. But like I said, ideally you want to go 7 medium. And you want to go all divines usually. The Vicious Ophidian chest piece, all I had in my bank from old trial runs was an infused one. If I had a divines one, I would be wearing it. And then the crafted stuff, obviously the Night Mothers, make sure that's all divines. These 3 styles, in case you're wondering, because I get questions, is Grim Harlequin. They look sweet. Looks like little combat boots. So divines, and divines. And then I've got the 3 Vicious Jewelry. Now the Vicious Ophidian drops from trials. The gold jewelry will only drop from Vet hard mode. Vet mode final bosses will drop the purple jewelry. I think it's only on the final bosses jewelry, and you can get weapons and armor pieces from the different sets through the other bosses in the trial. Velodreth obviously drops from the head, drops from the final boss in Cradle of Shadows on Vet, and the shoulder comes from the Urgalarg chest at the Undaunted Enclave. And then 2 sharpened daggers. That's what you want to do. So this enchant here, I have increase your weapon damage and spell damage for 5 seconds. And then this one, honestly, like, this is kind of a toss-up. I've been testing out this poison enchant. You could honestly go with the crushing enchant to reduce physical resistance even more. And that might honestly be better. The reason I did this poison enchant was because when I was first testing out this build, I was using 2 Kra'ghs up here. And that's this set. And it drops from Fungal Grotto. And you could use this as well. This is another good option. And I'll talk about the monster set options in just a minute. But this one piece adds additional physical penetration. So I felt like I was going to be kind of overdoing it with the physical pen initially. And that's why I put the poison enchant on this. But you can go Crusher here. Even still, with Night Mothers and 2 sharpened weapons, physical pen is at, 5,260. When this goes off, which is going to be up like all the time, the 5-piece, when you do critical damage, you reduce the enemy's physical resistance by 2,520 for 6 seconds. So your physical penetration is going to be somewhere around like, 7,500 or something. And honestly, the mobs in Maelstrom, Vet Maelstrom, really don't have all that much resistance. I think it's around like 11k for the bosses. So you're already lowering it by a ton. So you could probably still do Crusher enchant if you want. Honestly, that'd probably be the best bet. But like I said, I'm just doing poison at the moment. And then obviously the Maelstrom bow. All weapon damage enchants, legendary enchants on the jewelry. And then the enchants on the body pieces, this is up to you. This is up to you. Like for me, I was feeling a little bit squishy. My old setup when I was using Twiceborn Star. So Twiceborn Star gives you health, stam, and magicka, and it gives you an extra 1,000 health for the 2-piece. So my health was with how I enchanted it in the first video, my health was at like, it was over 19k, which was really nice. And I had enchanted a couple body pieces with health. As I was sort of tweaking and figuring out this build, one of the things I realized was originally my health was below 18, and I was dying a lot. It was kind of frustrating. So what I did was I made sure that my shoulder piece, because it was a heavy armor piece, had a health enchant on it. And then I put another health enchant on the boots, and then I put stamina on everything else. Now having the infused pieces for stamina is nice just because it gives you a little extra stamina, but like I said, you want to get all divines if you can, and if you can gold out your whole set, that's going to help you out a lot. The Mundus stone you're going to be using is Thief. So right now I've got 68% crit. When I use my potion, it goes up to 78%. And then fully buffed weapon damage is 3613. And here are the stats. So we've got 9.8k magicka, 18.7k health, and stam is at 33.2. Stam recovery is at 853, but that's enhanced by the potion. Normally it's like 700 something, because right now I have the potion up, so that's giving me major endurance. Physical penetration's at where it's supposed to be for sharpened weapons, physical resistance, whatever. I am a vampire. I just am on this character. You don't have to be a vampire. If you are a vampire, make sure that you're in stage 1 before you do Maelstrom. It's very important. The food you're going to want to use is max health and max stamina. And the potions you're going to want to use are these Essence of Weapon Power potions if you're a DK. So you're going to get Major Brutality, Major Savagery, and it's going to restore stamina and give you increased stamina regen. So that is the setup with the gear. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think that I did. Let's talk about skills. So skills, I've switched some things up from this build to last build. Or between this build and last build. So our first bar here is here. Alright, just ignore all this stuff. Our first bar here is, first skill is Venomous Claw. Then we have Bloodthirst. That comes from dual wield. I like Bloodthirst a lot in Maelstrom because you're solo and this gives you the heal at the end and it's really, really nice. I would definitely recommend Bloodthirst in here over, what is the other one? Over Rapid Strikes. Just for that heal. In Maelstrom, it's vital. It's really, really important. So go Bloodthirst here. Then you're going to want to use Rending Slashes. Here we have Igneous Shield for stand back, a damage shield, and Major Mending. Then we have Vigor. And then our ultimate is Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Now, Dawnbreaker is great. It's awesome. I like the smiting for the knockdown, obviously. You could also use the dual wield ulti. You probably want to use, I would say, Rend. The more of this Rend. I have Thrive in Chaos, but you You probably want to use the if you want to use this ultimate, you could use Rend, and that's going to heal you as well as do damage for about 16 seconds for Rend. Thriving Chaos is only 8 seconds, but I find that the dual wield ulti doesn't hit quite as consistently as Dawnbreaker does. So I prefer Dawnbreaker, and also with Dawnbreaker, you get for fighters good passives, you get the with the Slayer passive, it increases your weapon damage by 3% for each fighter's guild ability slotted. So having this on our bar is increasing our weapon damage by 3%, which is nice. And then on the back bar, we have Poison Injection. This is a super important skill that you want to try and keep up at all times, especially when a target's below 50% health. Then we have Endless Hail, Rearming Trap. This is very important. Then we have Volatile Armor for gives you increased resistances. It's going to give you Major Ward and Major Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resist. And then you also, it does a small dot as well if you hit a target with it. But what's also really nice is with Burning Heart passive for the DK, it increases your healing by 12% when a Draconic Power ability is active. So if you're healing, if you're trying to heal up, and you've hit Igneous, and you've got Volatile Armor up right here, you hit Igneous. Oh, I don't have any Magicka. Hold on. I did those out of order. So you got Volatile up, you hit Igneous, and you heal. You're going to be getting insane amounts of heals. And with crits, like I'm almost getting 5k Vigor Ticks in here, which is really nice. So, you know, Major Mending, that's going to increase your healing done by 25%. And then this is going to increase it by, while this is up, while your Volatile Armor is up, it's going to increase it by another 12%. So that's really nice. And then on the back, I have Caltrops. Now I haven't morphed my Caltrops. The reason for that is because apparently I think Caltrops still stacks with all the other versions of Caltrops. So if you're in a trial and one guy's running the unmorphed version, someone else is running Razor Caltrops, and another person is running Anti-Cavalry Caltrops, they will all stack together and do damage. Whereas if everyone's running the same one, I don't think it stacks. That's what I've heard from people that I run trials with and stuff. So I personally haven't morphed mine, so don't be like, why didn't you morph your Caltrops? But if you're just gonna do this solo, I would morph it to Razor Caltrops. And this is a big, it's from the Alliance War skill line, and it's a big AoE, like little razors that come down on the ground, and it just does damage over time as well as snaring people that are inside of it. It gives them a 30% snare. So this is really, really good to use just in slowing down enemies to getting to you, and also just helping you do more damage over time. And then lastly, we have the new Ballista Bow Ultimate that comes from the bow skill line here. So you're going to want to pick Ballista, and the reason I really like Ballista is because when you place it down on the ground, it just goes. It goes for you, and it does a lot of damage. It's really, really fun to use in stage 5. If you're on one island and a troll spawns and he goes to another island and he's starting to break that island and you have your ultimate up, you can put the bow Ballista ultimate to target him, and it will take him down just by itself, and you can continue to focus on the mobs or whoever, the boss, whatever that you're trying to kill on the island that you're on. There's some other uses that I found for it in here. It also just does a lot of damage, and while it's doing damage, you are doing damage as well because you're not channeling. It's just, it spawns next to you and it just auto targets and does damage to the target you place it on. So that enables you to continue to DPS and do your rotations for about 5.2 seconds while this ultimate is working. And buffed up here, this says here, if I go here, and hold on, let me switch. Where is it? It does about almost 50k physical damage over 5.2 seconds. So it's a lot of damage. And the all cost is a little high. It's at 175, but with Battle Roar, that's going to give you even more stamina back when you use that higher cost ulti, as well as Magicka and health. So basically the rotations that you're going to do... Oh, let me actually talk about real quick about attributes and then champion points. So attributes is 64 into stamina. Champion points, so 100 into Warlord, 85 into Mooncalf, 2 into Tumbling, 54 into Thaumaturge, 33 in Precise Strikes, and 100 into Mighty. Then I've got 15 into Thick Skinned, 81 in Hardy, 81 in Elemental Defender, 9 in Quick Recovery, and 1 in Expert Defender. That's what my CP looks like. So rotation-wise, what you're going to pretty much do is when something comes and it spawns, when you see the little spawn, you're going to go to the spawn, you're going to put down Trap, you're going to put down your Arrow Barrage. Maybe you've got Caltrops out already. You can let that sit on that portal while the thing spawns. You come over here, take care of another another mob come back. This one's probably going to be dead already. If not, you can just hit him with the poison inject. It's also really helpful if you tag enemies right as they're spawning with poison inject just right away. And whatever else is on them, poison inject should take care of them if they drop below 50% health. Half of what Maelstrom is, over half of what it is in getting a good score and getting a good time, is clearing the trash very quickly. With this new build, I just got my best score ever yesterday or 2 days ago, or whatever. So my best score is 526,657. So it's not super high, but it is my best score, and I was able to surpass the best score I've ever had, which was 510 with this new build. So I was really happy about that. I thought that, you know, it was definitely worth posting and sharing for you guys, especially for those of you that may be trying out Maelstrom for the first time. But I've been doing this a lot, and this build works extremely well. So like I said, before the battle starts, you know, you're going to want to get down all of your oops, my keyboard's really sensitive now. You're going to want to get down all of your dots on the ground. Make sure that your arrows are up. Make sure you've got all your buffs up as well. So you get as a DK, you get minor brutality anytime you use an Earth and Heart ability, which is right here, Mountain's Blessing. So make sure you use this a lot as well. That lasts for about 20 seconds. So you want to try and keep that up. It's an 8% damage boost. I think it's 8%. No, it's 5%. So it increases your weapon damage by 5%. So I don't know if that translates into 8%. I don't know where I got that from, but I'd always thought that. But anyways, you want to keep your potion up. You want to keep minor brutality up and all that. Then when you're engaging on the boss or whoever you're trying to kill, you're going to want to go with a combo a little bit like this. So you're going to want to do Bloodthirst first, then Venomous Claw. Bloodthirst, then Rending Slashes. Bloodthirst, swap, hit him with the Poison Inject, reapply arrows, reapply your trap, switch back, Bloodthirst, Venomous Claw. And so as you're doing that, you're basically allowing these dots to work to their full potential. I'm not the best at it, but like this dot lasts 10.5 seconds. This dot lasts 9 seconds. This dot lasts 10 seconds. This arrow barrage lasts 10 seconds. Trap lasts 6 seconds, as well as giving you minor force, which increases your critical damage. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. It's very straightforward. I'll put some clips at the end of this video so you guys can see the build in action. I definitely recommend using Velodreth or Kra'ghs. Both are very good in Maelstrom. I found I actually kind of liked Velodreth a little bit more. It gave me more upfront burst, and I felt like I was able to kill trash a lot faster because this would just proc, and then it does like 13.5k disease damage, and it hits really hard. So this is really good. Also, the one piece gives you weapon damage. Like I said earlier, you could use the Kra'gh set, which comes from Fungal Grotto. The head comes from Fungal Grotto. I forget which chest to shoulder comes from, but you can look that up online. Another set you could use in here is the Stormfist set. So Stormfist, let me look this up. So Stormfist, I don't have proper pieces of it yet, but it adds 1 piece stamina recovery, and when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to create a Thunder Fist to crush the enemy, dealing shock damage every 1 second for 3 seconds to all enemies within 4 meters, and then a final sort of like crunch of 10,000 physical damage when the fist closes. And that effect can occur every 8 seconds. So that's a really good set. Another set that I want to try out that's a new set is the Sellistrix. I really wanted to try this out. I just don't have the proper pieces of it yet either. For in here, I've got some PvP pieces, but not for PvE. But basically, it gives you 1 piece max stamina, and when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to create an earthquake under the enemy that erupts after 2 seconds, dealing 5,000 physical damage to all enemies within 4 meters, and it also stuns them for 3 seconds. I feel like that'd be really good in Maelstrom, so I really want to test that out at some point. I got to farm Arxcrinium and try and get a medium Divine's Helm. Excuse me. So anyway, so those are some options. If you guys have more questions, please be sure to leave those on the video down below. There are some different options and sets that you can use if you don't want to run Night Mother's Gaze, but I definitely recommend this, especially for Stam DK, because what this allows you to do is it means you can free up a spot on your bar and you don't necessarily have to use Noxious Breath. You could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And so instead I like using Caltrops. But yeah, so that's the build. I'll put up a couple clips of just me killing some stuff at the end of this video within Maelstrom. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. Facebook, all that stuff. All the links are down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.